Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Drawsome. We are today going to be drawing clouds, which sounds like it would be simple, but I'm going to show you in four different art supplies. I'm going to be using graphite, charcoal, gouache paint, and watercolor. So hold tight. So what we're going to be using here is, well, my typical kneaded eraser and graphite pencil. That'll be for one of them. We're going to be using a charcoal pencil and a one of these, pointillion type things. This is a charcoal pencil. It's a tinted charcoal pencil in Ocean Deep, which is kind of a purplish blue, I think. But we'll also be using the kneaded eraser. You're gonna need a kneaded eraser for both of these. So that's that. And then just a typical set of watercolors. I'm gonna show you that. And that's gonna require some paper towel also. And then my Hemi gouache. Oh my gosh, this sucker's so heavy. Oh, yeah, my Hemi gouache. So yeah, these are our supplies that we're gonna be using today. And if you don't have any of these supplies, that's cool. Just grab a pencil and try and follow along. So first up, we're going to be doing the graphite right here and using just these two tools. So when you look at the sky, you know it's not going to be white. So you're going to want to make sure you lay down at least a little bit of graphite in a mid-tone. You're going to find that this technique is pretty much the same for the charcoal technique. You can get a little bit more, I think, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? My brain's not working today. Deeper tones with the charcoal than you can with just one graphite. Now, if you want to just smudge that around. It's all one color. There we go. Then you're going to take your kneaded eraser, and I just kind of make a rounded, almost like an egg shape out of it. Okay, and then you just kind of start lifting off the graphite. Now, you might not see a result right away. That's because you're going to have to use several layers, do several layers of this. Like that. Go back to your pencil, and you're going to, if I don't know if you can even see this, I've got a little outline of where the eraser took off some of the graphite. So you're just gonna kind of come in here, and just outside of that, start darkening that up a little bit. Now, you're going to start seeing these little shapes pop in. Like this. But then you're also going to come up in here and make like a secondary layer on top. Just making these little darkened areas. And then you'll take your blending stump, blend those out all the way around. Okay, so much for graphite. Next up will be charcoal. And like I said, it's basically the same principle, where you're going to put in a little bit of color for the background to show, you know, kind of say that it's okay. So you kind of get the idea there. So what I wanted to try this is, do I need a smaller piece? Let's tear off a piece of this, so it's a little easier to work with. And I was going to put sunbeams So if you use and just take your razor and ink, wink. It just makes like a little sunbeam. Something like that. So you've got your graphite, you've got your charcoal. Let's see. So graphite, charcoal. And let's see. That's right, we're going to do watercolor and gouache. And watercolor. I don't ever know if I spell that right. So I'm going to get set up for the wet media and I'll be right back. Okie dokie, I'm back and we're set up for some gouache painting. So that's what we're going to do right here, some gouache sky with a cloud. So I've already wet my gouache paints up. I'm just going to get this brush good and wet because I'm going to need it to be. I'm not even going to use a mixing palette. Really don't need it. I'm just going to make this little square blue. Now, because gouache dries pretty quickly, we can't do a lot of like lifting like you would in watercolor. I mean, you could if you're fast enough, but I prefer to do that with a brush instead. And for me, it's just in gouache, it's a little easier for me anyway. I'm going to use a real fluffy brush because I want fluffy clouds. Now, if you want, you can actually dry this off with a heat gun or something, but it's not gonna, it doesn't take that long for gouache to dry. And then I'm just going to come in here and little dabs. And I'm going to go back in there and I'm going to pick some of that gouache up in some areas. Like that. And then wait for it to dry. Give it a second or two. You did one thing that's just kind of, you know, bleeding all together. And we'll go back in here and put in like a front cloud. My paint's to be a little thicker. Not quite that thick, dude. There we go. And then we do the same with the secondary clouds. Pick them up. There we go. And also when you're doing painting clouds like this, or even drawing clouds with charcoal, the further away the cloud is, the smaller it gets. So you're going to have like littler clouds, and these will be further away. And even further away. Like so. Now, if you wanted to really work at these and make them really 3D, you could mix up some gray and put gray in there so that they look heavier and not so friendly, like they're about to, like it's about to rain. There's our wash. So let's move on to watercolor. Be right back. Okie dokie, now we're back in here and we're gonna do some watercolor clouds. And I'm going to pre-wet all this. And hope for the best here. No, this will work. This notebook I'm using is made by Arteza, and it's really good for dry and wet media. So, and let's see, we're gonna come over here and get some blue. And we're gonna put and then I'm going to take a corner of a dry paper towel and ball it up into like a little round portion, kind of like what we did with the eraser. And I'm going to pick up the area where I want my cloud. And that would be right in there. Like that. And then I'm going to go back in with a little bit of gray. This is one of my older palettes. I'm gonna mix it with the color that I used for the background, so it's not so shockingly dark that it's jarring. You don't want to do that. We have a hair. And then I'm going to go back in again and pick more up. So it's similar to the gouache technique. or not the gouache technique, but yeah, the gouache technique. Now this may look dark now, but when it dries it'll be a lot lighter, which you have to remember about. That's one thing that watercolors will do. And this is also not true watercolor paper, so it's gonna act a little funny. You want a nice glow, especially if they're storm clouds. They always have that kind of a funky glow about them, which I always thought was pretty cool. And this is just one of those matters of just moving things around till you get them the way you want. Now, one thing you can do with clouds as well is mixing media. You can add, like I put in here, some white charcoal, and if you want those edges really crisp, I suggest you go in with a white gel marker. I could have gone in here with some gouache on this one. Gel marker on this one would be really cool as well. Kind of brightens up that edge that the sun is hitting. Just like that. Just kind of a little edge, and you can do the same to this if you wanted some crisp whiter edges on some of these clouds. Along with the inside. Like this. And then you could also do the lightning. So there we go. There's our clouds in 4 different media: graphite, charcoal, gouache, and watercolor. So it just depends on you know, the look you're going for, and the little peel there. Yeah, the look you're going for, or the media that you really want to work in. This is how you would do it. Sorry about this one. This paper was not cooperating with me with these two. It was working much better with the last two. But yeah, this is week 15 of Drawsome, and I hope you all followed along. And if you did, please post your pictures on Instagram with the hashtag Drawsome Squad. Then you can become part of the Drawsome family. We would love to have you, me and Jen would. And don't forget to go check out Jen's video too, because I cannot wait to see what she did. She's such a nature artist, so this is right up her alley. It really is. So yeah, go and check out her video. The link will be in the box below. And until my next video, I love you bunches. Bye.